Welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. As you can tell, a little bit of a different setup currently the day before we go to Orlando for Disney World, so having to travel a little bit with a different setup for now, but obviously we're still going to have videos all throughout the week, so don't worry about that. If you guys want to stay up to date with what's going on inside of the world of Apex Legends esports, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot to dive into and discuss in today's video with drama regarding one specific player. Then we got to talk about some issues that seemingly are getting resolved that I'm very excited about when it comes to the visa department. Also, some drama regarding some of my predictions and one specific team that I'm looking out for as we approach this LAN event literally just next week. So of course, like the video and subscribe if you want to stay up to date. Without further ado, let's dive into what's happening right now inside the ALGS scene. So firstly, wanted to make mention of the Oversight Pro Series scrims. Once again, this was Group A versus Group D. Block 1 winner, Luminosity. No surprise, these guys have been really doing good lately. Now, I'm not saying that they were a bad team. I'm not saying I really didn't think they were going to make it. It's just the fact that like they were kind of middle of the pack for quite some time. They were doing solid. They were a decent squad anyways, but they weren't necessarily leading the way by any means until lately. Of course, they've been doing that a lot. We've been seeing them very, very consistent. So kudos to them. 2R1C in second, Dark Zero in third. No surprise to see Dark Zero there, of course. Northeption's been one of the more consistent APAC North teams as of late, so very excited for them. And then Virtus Pro, obviously former Team Burger, that we're excited to see at LAN. Also, then you move over to the second group. This was the Block 2 winner. Once again, Luminosity. They won back-to-back in groups that they weren't a part of as well. You know, they were part of matches today that they weren't even supposed to be, but they're signing up for these extra scrims. They're signing up to be a part of everything that they can for the most practice possible, and I love that for them. And they're obviously making it work as well. So these guys are being super consistent. Kudos to them. Once again, Luminosity in first, Legacy in second. And then third place was Rakuten Esports. I hope I'm saying that right, but honestly, I've never even heard of those guys. So I like to see more organizations getting involved in the scene. But back-to-back Luminosity wins. Congrats to those guys. Also wanted to make mention, of course, we had a lot of news with this Rumble mode that's now in the game. And the idea is that when you go into the game, there's private match, public match, and Rumble matches. It's not actually showing up as a new game mode because basically you sign up for this event, then you go into one of the regular public matches that exist and modes, and then you play that and it tracks your stats. Well, one of the problems is we've been hoping and praying and maybe looking for the day where it looks like it might happen, where you might have esport tournaments inside of the game. So instead of going to Apex Rumble, you might just go to Apex Cups, or you might just go to Apex tournaments, or maybe even the ALGS tournament gets involved inside of the actual game itself. The problem is that you have ALGS hackers, yes, but you also have Rumble hackers, people that are hacking on top of the leaderboards already. And if you implement cups, if you implement heirloom prizes or cash prizes, whatever the case may be, you're going to see, especially if you're seeing it in a free mode like this, you're going to see hackers once again. And this is a problem that will still persist. But if you haven't seen the news already, the first place guy, or at least the time of making the video, was actually doing 12,000 damage average per game, and then also had 0 assists, while everyone else had like 500 assists or so. So this guy's just beaming absolutely everything. He's racking up damage like never before. He's also got like 2,000 more points based off of damage alone. So it's obviously weird, and it's obviously not normal. And he's also coming from console, so I thought that was weird. But it's just an unfortunate situation because it's one of those things where it's like, if we don't fix that, it's going to persist as we add new features into the game. And especially if we're looking at doing an ALGS style tournament inside the game, we're chalked, honestly, if we don't get that fixed. Also wanted to make mention, the Esports World Cup announcement is now here, July 3rd through August the 25th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They actually tweeted this out just yesterday, and this was obviously going to be a very long event, but there's going to be multiple games involved, right? Like, we've already seen Dota, I think League of Legends, Apex is in there, Rocket League is in there, many other titles as well. Some of these titles are like, you know, boasting over 10 million in prize pools. I think Apex is like around the 2 to 3 million. So it's still going to be huge, still going to be big. And once again, these will not be country based. These will be actual organizations involved. So very excited to see how that one goes, and I cannot wait to see that action happen. I feel like, honestly, the production of that is going to be top notch, probably even better than what we have at the ALGS. And I really would like to see it on like maybe television or something. It'd be nice to see like on ESPN or something like that. But yeah, they posted 19 games, 1 club champion as well. And not only are they doing prize pools for the game, but they've also got prize pools for special awards. So you might have an MVP guy who also won the world championship or also won the biggest title. So, you know, they might be walking away with multi-millions of dollars. So very excited to see how all this one goes. Also had to make mention of some better news inside the scene. Waltzy has announced and posted inside of Discord that Not Moist has now been approved. So obviously, normally they're called Moist Esports. They had to part ways with the organization in order to get this approval from, you know, the U.S. immigration system, I guess, to come into and play. Sadly, they were giving them a headache when it came to Moist Esports, so they had to leave that blanket. Now they're called Not Moist, and I think they were going to buy, you know, Charlie's Angels for a bit, and maybe Totally Not Moist, but Not Moist is going to be their name going into the event. They did get approved, though, so very happy to see, you know, that they're going through with this, and very happy that they're still kind of giving Moist some credit, right? Still having Moist Esports in their name, or Moist, and even their logo is a little bit of a, you know, crooked situation. So very excited about that, and I'm really hoping that it's a situation where they can pick those guys back up in the end after it's all said and done. Also, we've got some really good news coming out of MaxStrafe. Of course, there's been a big problem over the last couple of days with, yes, we get visas. Yes, we're getting our visas. That's great. The problem is there's a little bit of a period in between getting visas and getting your passport and such. And so we saw from Nasky's teammates a couple of days ago, it was like a 2 to 7 day period. Well, MaxStrafe had posted, not only did they get their visas, but now they finally got their passports back with their visas on it. So everything is done. We're ready to fly out the 30th to LA, and MaxStrafe will finally be competing after all of those issues that he's had over the last couple of years. And of course, Nasky was here to follow as well, saying, I'm so happy for you. Finally, after 5 plans, you're able to do your job. Enjoy this, and I'll give you a kiss when we meet. Now, obviously, one of the bigger situations that we've been following was Nasky and his teammates. Sadly, Amphi did get his visa approved, but he had to wait 2 to 7 days to get his passport back. So we were worried, you know, maybe there's a situation where Nasky has to play alone, and I'm sure there's others that may be running through with this issue as well. So basically, they may have to go through, you know, day 1, day 2 as a solo, and then after the fact, they could actually get their teammates back if they could show up in time. So it's a really scuffed situation. I always wonder if this would have happened if the announcement of the event itself came out earlier. Really wish we would have got that, but it is what it is. Also, got to make mention of over a couple things. So first off, let's start with Furia. People were taking it to Reddit to ask, is Furia the only team with the range to finish top 5 or bottom 5? Obviously, we've seen them regional finals bottom out at 20th place after doing pretty solid in Pro League and thinking they were a top 5 team. So are they a team that's actually going to do that? Are they going to go from maybe top 5 and looking really strong and then just literally getting eliminated from the tournament just like that? Well, obviously, I think it's possible for any team, but Furia has been one to have that track record. But they've had it with who? They've had it with their former roster, with HisWattson on the team. Now that they've got Vaxlot, I feel like they're really getting back into a little bit, you know, maybe of a groove. Obviously, they're finding themselves, but don't forget, before preseason, this squad was one of the, if not the most consistent team out there, definitely up there with TSM, definitely up there with Dark Zero. So how can you say that they're not a better team, or that they're not maybe a little bit more of a hopeful team now that they've got Vaxlon back on that lineup? I just don't see how you can make an argument for anything other than that. So yes, I do have them as a top 3, and I know I got a lot of flack for this in my video yesterday for saying that, but I do think Furia is that good. Am I saying that they're definitely going to finish top 3? No, maybe not, but I wouldn't be surprised if something happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if something does happen. I would be surprised now if they finish bottom 5. I do think that they're not that same Furia anymore. They are a different Furia roster than what they were at the regional finals, and I don't think you're going to see a bottom out like that. If it does, of course, I'll clip this and I'll make fun of myself. It happens, but I do think Furia is a team to be reckoned with, and you've got to watch out, because I'm telling you, these guys are underrated and they're ready to show themselves, and they're ready to show their worth. Now, HisWattson, on the other coin of this, of course, is catching a lot of flack as well, even from the CEO himself, Mr. ImperialHal. So here's what HisWattson had to say about what Hal had to say of them being permanently banned from competitive Apex. Roll the clip.
He said I should be permanently banned. That is a wild. That's a wild. Dude, honestly, please just ban me. That way I won't ever even consider going back. Honestly, go ahead. Then I won't even be tempted to. It won't even be a possibility.
Do you feel more free now, Watson? Like ever since you like quit comp?
Have you ever seen The Giver, like the movie?
Yeah.
You know how like when he stops taking the medicine and everything like starts turning to color?
Yeah.
That's me.
You think comps, like, has comp always been depressing for you, or is it like sometimes had enjoyment levels?
Even when we do really well, I would like the times we did really well and it was going really well. Those were the times where I was like most sure I wanted to leave, because I was like, this like high is not worth the suffering every other time is. Like I just don't like, the thing is like I don't care if we do well, like I don't care if we win, but when we lose I'm like fuck, like I'm disappointing people. So it's like I don't get as high of a high, and the lows are like extra low because I'm like, why am I even here?
So of course, some crazy things going on as always. But if you guys want to stay up to date with all things going on inside of the world of Apex Legends esports scene, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Yes, I'm going on vacation this week, but we're still going to have daily videos. We're still not going to miss anything. So everything will still be up to date right here. So until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.